This podcast is intended for entertainment purposes only. You must be 18 or older to listen and or subscribe. Anything we say should not be used to diagnose or treat any medical or psychiatric condition. Do not use anything heard on this podcast as a replacement for professional help or an attempt to diagnose yourself or anyone else. We are not licensed professionals. We are not here to treat you. Any similarities to any persons alive or deceased are purely coincidental. We will not be held responsible for any actions taken as a result of anything heard on this platform. All right, here we are, coming back in.
I wanted to write the intro. Shit. I'm blue or black.
What?
What?
You can do the intro after we do.
After we do the show?
We'll do introductions, and we'll say what we're drinking, and then you can do the introduction.
Are we recording?
Yes, we're recording.
Fantastic.
All of it.
These wonderful people.
Yes.
Get to listen to my bull.
Welcome back, everybody, to the campfire that is kinky
Come on,
around
man.
the camping.
I know.
The big fire.
It's a thing now.
Bonfire.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of
The bonfire?
Around the Kinky Campfire. I was going to say beyond. Around the Kinky Campfire.
Beyond the kinky campfire.
Beyond and around.
We are here for another podcast episode. We are firmly, well, almost firmly in the double digits. We're getting to the mid double digits.
You should see the look we just gave each other.
We're doing good. We're coming in. And to my right, I have.
Oh, Dame. That's me. He always starts with you.
No, he doesn't.
But he
No.
used that hand
I
and
know.
then pointed at
Did
me.
you notice I waited and he
Yeah.
looked that
This
way?
one's
And then,
occupied.
yeah.
This
Yeah.
one's occupied.
Yeah. I wish people
And-
could see what he does because that's why he confused me. He'll look at me.
Can we
and
do
this with
video
his
on the
hand.
Patreon? Would you be cool with that? Can we do that at one point? That'd be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, we can get
They have
that.
the paywall.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
That'd be great.
The paywall.
Yeah, paywall. You guys will be green screen because there ain't shit over behind you. I've reoriented the room. There's nothing behind them, but I got a fancy new wall behind me. But you guys can't see that.
Redecorated.
And on my left, I have,
Esme.
and I am Senior Donut Muncher.
Donut muncher?
Donut Muncher.
I like it.
Very good. This is what I do. So, first of all, we're going to get real formal. I am drinking a High Noon, not sponsored, vodka soda, guava with real juice. I prefer the High Noons, a little bit less sugar in there. It tastes fancy. Not so much sparkling.
I brought the High Noons because I've been trying to switch to them, but I noticed I left these there, so I'm drinking them up.
Actually,
what are
no, you
these?
didn't.
I thought I did.
No, yours has been drunk up.
Oh, well, then I'm drinking these up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those have
I'm
a little bit of
drinking
sugar.
the Corona Refrescas.
Yes.
Refresca.
What
They
she
are
said.
the tropical cocktails, so they have a little sugar
They
in
have a
there.
little sugar in
Yes.
them.
That's why I like the High Noons a little bit less
But
sugar.
I start my reboot in 2
Oh, no,
weeks.
super
So
good, guys.
reboot?
yeah,
What
I'm
does
doing
that
a
mean?
reboot.
What's a
Nice.
reboot?
What's a reboot?
What's a
It's
reboot?
not a diet.
Not a diet.
It's a reboot.
I'm with you. All my keto shit comes in like next week. Yeah, so I already started. That's why I've got
Yeah.
this delicious food that I have to pay for. I can't drink sugar. I'm actually pre-diabetic, which is interesting.
This actually has sugar in it.
Yeah, it's got a little bit.
It's not as sparkly though.
Correct.
What are you drinking?
Identical to yours. The High Noon guava.
Guava?
Yeah, I actually
Yes,
don't like guava.
You're always copying me.
I'm not. You're always copying me. You always say that, except that you're actually copying me. We'll order the exact same thing, and I will order it before I knew what he was looking at on the menu.
And
we
then
order
he'll
the same-
order it.
You're-
Yeah, and then
you're-
he's like, "You're copying me." I'm like, "Dude, I don't even know what you're looking
copying.
at." No, we just like the same.
You're
food.
copying me.
You're such a wiener.
You're copying me.
All right, ready?
All right.
Everybody, hold
Mom
on.
and Dad are fighting again.
But yet you are still drinking it. Okay. All right.
You, me?
So yeah.
It's alcohol. I don't
So-
give a shit. It's alcohol.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, you want to do your intro now? We're doing being all formal.
Oh, it smells like cilantro. It's got that smell.
Oh God, here we go.
Yeah, smell it.
This is not the
Guava,
point.
man.
This
Guava
is not
has
the
like
episode.
Oh, yeah, I see what
It's
you're
got that
saying.
weird
Yeah.
smell. Yeah. Do you like
love
cilantro?
I like cilantro, though.
Do you
yeah.
know
It's
what I mean? That
delicious.
vaporous, like off gas that it's got at the top. That's what I don't like about it. People are like, it tastes like soap. I'm like, it's not really. It's like the rind of a lime or something. It's got that.
That makes sense.
You know, it's like 50% of people don't like cilantro. in the
Yeah.
country, so it's
Yeah,
like
we're
a toss
super super tasters.
up. You want to do the intro now, or you get distracted?
We had an intro,
Yeah.
the old one. Oh wait, what's our new one? No, you do it. I don't remember what you're doing because I don't remember what we said.
Well, we don't like the shit that we talk about because it's the shit we
Yeah,
talk about.
we used
So
to say.
officially saying we're gonna, I'd listen to us.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
so corny.
Thank you,
We have to
listeners.
say it. We have to find a way to say it. Like,
I
I'd listen
can't
to
help
us.
it. It's so corny.
it is. Beyond the Kinky Campfire. Thanks for tuning in.
I'd listen to it.
I mean, I'd listen to us.
Yeah,
it's so douchey. It's
That's the point. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to be catchy.
Okay, we're big fans of.
I can do
like
puns.
when I hear it, all I picture is like a 1970s guy in a plaid polyester suit with a mustache, like holding his like hand on
Ron
his,
Jeremy.
like,
Ron
Yeah,
Jeremy.
yeah.
Yeah, like Ron Jeremy.
Ron Burgundy.
Ron Burgundy. I'd be like, I'd listen to us.
I'd listen to
Like,
us. That's
That's
what it,
exactly what I'm picturing in my head
Look
when
across
I hear
the
that.
table.
Who
from
the F
you?
knew? Where is he from? Seattle or some shit?
I don't remember. San Francisco.
Good.
San Diego. San Diego.
San
Stay classy,
Diego.
San Diego.
What's going on out there?
Stay classy. Wasn't it San
I'd
Diego?
listen to us.
classy.
San
Yeah.
Stay
Diego.
classy.
Stay classy, San
Hey,
Diego.
hey, did you guys know?
It's very Shatner.
You ever
too.
notice that people that are into trampling are always in a rush?
I can't do
hate
this.
this.
I can't.
Fucking hate him.
They always want
can't
people
do
to
it.
step on it.
Where's your thing? Hit your button.
Hit your
Hit your
button.
stupid button.
The stupid noise needs to go with the stupid joke. See, like, hit your button.
Let's see. Yeah.
No.
No, I deserve applause.
You don't have the drums?
I deserve applause.
What's this one? That's
There
the
we
one.
go.
Thank you.
I deserve. No, this is better. This is it. There we go. That's it.
You
Okay,
deserve
so
nothing. You earn applause.
we're still working on the
So,
introduction.
buddy. Yeah.
And then we'll say
I like
why
that
we're
one.
here. We'll do that other part later. Right now, what we're talking about is Beyond Leather 2022. Thoughts?
It was an
Questions?
amazing conference.
Okay.
I had a blast.
Somebody win.
I did go. It was the first time I got to go. My first conference post COVID, and my first time at this specific conference. And I would 100% go again. The vibe was amazing. The people were amazing. It was just really nice to be around that many people and not have to worry about explaining yourself or who you are or what you like, or like you could just be around people and like-minded people. I mean, because we go to work every day and all that stuff and but I'm saying, like, you could just be around people for an extended amount of time. You could be by the pool, you could be in a restaurant eating, you could be in classes, and you didn't feel like you had to constantly
Mask.
well, not just mask, but like explain who you were. Because
You feel
we're
like you're
all
surrounded
in
by
the same,
lifestyle
yeah,
people.
we're all in the same place.
It's like lifestyle peers. Mm-hmm. That'd be rad. That would
They
feel
had-
so different.
They had a pretty interesting class list. They had amazing theaters, what they called theaters, which were like sideshows. Like they had a comedy show one night. They had a burlesque show one night. It was just, they had a cigar social
Ooh.
that was really cool, really good.
Somebody's ears perked up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you saw some. It just, they had
dad
an
always took
open
me.
dungeon every night. They actually opened the dungeon in the afternoon for people who are like not night owls,
Wow.
so that they could play in the
I'm
afternoon.
old. I'm an old lady. You like leather stuff? Like I like cigar stuff. I don't know why. It's like the daddy thing. My dad used to take me to the cigar bars with him all the time. And
It was really cool.
yeah. There's like a whole masculine thing around it. We were just talking about it, my dad and I, about how he used to expose me to that kind of stuff. Not about me. Beyond Leather, I was shocked to realize that a lot of it, I don't even know if they had many
didn't- there
classes
wasn't-
were not about leather.
No, they weren't.
It seemed
Beyond-
so all inclusive because when I heard about it,
Well-
Beyond Leather, I thought it would be exclusive. Like
Well, they kind
wouldn't-
of said it, right? Beyond leather.
Very much so.
They're
Very beyond.
We're past leather.
Yeah, that's
We're on to
beautiful.
the next thing.
How are the egos?
I didn't personally run into any.
Fantastic.
If they were there, they kept to themselves, or I just didn't interact with them. I mean, because I knew people there, but I wasn't a part of the larger community that attended. So I knew enough people to be social and to meet new people, but not to the point to where it was like, I wasn't like at home kind of thing. Like if there was a thing here and I went, it would be like being at home because I know everybody around me.
Yeah.
I knew enough people to be comfortable and social and to meet other people.
You were among peers, not necessarily friends, let's say.
Yes.
They were friendly.
They were friendly.
Friendly
Now,
acquaintances.
Did a lot of people have their leather on?
Yes.
Oh.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah.
All
when
the
I'm-
time.
When I said ego too, I wasn't using like slang or anything. I was wondering about the ego of people in the lifestyle, and there's presenters, and sometimes
No, because
they
we're
just get
all
a big ego,
no, we're all there.
so they know not to have an ego. It's if you're at Beyond Leather, you're probably already like deep in.
Right.
If you know enough to be going to an
Right.
event like that.
I got to see a lot of families. I got to see some amazing outfits. Like these people were on point with what they were wearing. Sometimes it was awesome.
I actually got confused. You said families, and I was like, families, like kids there? I forgot. Leather
No,
families.
leather
Can you
families.
explain
Leather
to our
houses.
hundreds of thousands of listeners
Because I
what
don't know
a
what
leather
you mean by amazing
family
either.
by amazing.
Well, she said amazing outfits. I don't know. What she
Amazing
means.
outfits.
Amazing outfits, like fetish wear, like outfits, things people wore. They were just on point. They were amazing to look at.
Sharp,
Well, like-
crisp,
Yeah.
complicated work.
They were hot
good
as
leather
fuck.
tooling.
They
that
were
kind of stuff.
just all of it.
So it wasn't just leather outfits.
No,
Oh.
there
I
was
thought you meant, like-
latex. There was
Oh,
leather.
okay. I
There
thought you meant, like, a
was.
special kind
So
of
they were
vest or something.
dressed.
Oh,
like formal.
yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
at leather, I would think that's
Well, there was a
formal,
formal
sharp-
night.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there was a
Sexy.
formal dinner night.
Were
That's
people
sexy.
dressed up for the classes too?
Some yes, but some people more casual. It was a mix between the two.
We did an episode with leather already, right? Talked
No.
about it. We didn't do the history of leather.
No.
Shit, why didn't we do that now? Why didn't we write this stuff down? We can do a kind of a brief history. Can you tell
That's
us
a whole
first
nother
about?
thing, yeah.
Yeah, we can do a brief history, but can you tell us first about families, leather families, and leather houses? I actually don't know a lot about that. I know the history, kind of a little bit of leather history, but
Well, I mean,
what's the difference between a family and a house? Let's say.
it's interchangeable.
Oh,
Your house is your family. So I use the terms interchangeably. There
Kinda
might
like
be people
a
that don't,
fraternity-ish?
but no. It's the kinks version of your chosen family. You just actually put parameters around it. Not everybody can join. Not everybody's worthy. You don't want everybody in it. Like you just choose to.
or like a troop, like in Boy Scouts, a certain little troop.
I don't know that I would akin them to the Boy Scouts. No, for anybody listening, I did not say
I did.
that.
I said it.
No,
What's
it's.
it? Well, yeah, what's it? I don't know.
I mean, it's no different than
A
So
club?
we'll say
Certain
like a
clubs?
fraternity,
Yeah.
where there is usually some kind of ranking system in it. There's usually somebody in charge of the family, the head of house,
okay.
or president, depending on how it is set up, because there's different ways to set it up. And then some families have certain criterias for you to meet to be in the family. Some people have rituals that you have to go through to be in the family or house.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds very fraternity, like a fraternity house. It sounds very fraternity-like.
It's something either you
Ish. I'm just trying to relate it to if anybody in the
Yeah,
other
I mean,
communities
it's-
are listening. I actually don't know either. So yeah, I guess it sounds like that. It sounds.
it gives you it's. I mean, I think they're pretty fucking cool. I've never been in one. Because to me, they're like a for life thing. Kind of like an MC. Think of like a motorcycle club.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like that, but
Yeah.
a kink for like a leather version. Like
I mean, that had to be where it came from, right? That's the
I would
history
say
of leather
that's
is
probably
like they kind of
where that
masqueraded.
kind of came from.
Right.
It's akin to like an MC but legal.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
I think the leather lifestyle started out, I believe, this is just from my reading, from Wikipedia and websites, started out as like in the 40s, roundabout, after World War II. The gay community was still underground. A lot of them were veterans. They still wanted to like get together outside of the Navy, let's say. They ended up in port towns and needed to gather in safe places. So they would gather and then get bullied, let's say, arrested,
Well, it's illegal.
beaten up,
yeah.
whatever. Yeah. So
being gay
being gay was illegal.
illegal. Like you could literally be arrested for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and
Yeah.
you could, be mobbed and they'll
Killed.
They'll kill you. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So people were getting killed over this, and they needed to find a safe way to congregate. So they kind of came up with somehow, we're in a motorcycle club, and they would wear leather motorcycle.
Well, motorcycles came about because it was the cheapest form of transportation.
That makes sense too.
And
Yeah, you're coming back. You're
it was
a veteran,
the most
you get
freeing.
your
They
GI
could buy
Bill.
it. They had. Well, that didn't exist then.
Oh, never mind.
So
You got some money.
you have some money. You came back. You're used to being gone. You're used to traveling. You really
Yeah.
don't have a sense of like this is home kind of thing, because everybody around you is different than what you just came from.
Yeah.
And so their way was they sought each other out. And so
It's like
they
need to escape
became
and also have community.
well, they became leather. Leather became like, because they rode motorcycles.
Yeah, you wear
Leather's
leather.
protected.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
It's
Yeah, they wear
protective
motorcycles.
gear. It's
So,
really
right.
so it came from gay men coming back from being overseas, where they couldn't be gay in the military, or they
or here.
They could be, but they couldn't get caught.
Right.
They couldn't do anything about it.
Right.
But yet they were surrounded by nothing but men.
Exactly.
Right. And so they come back and they're traveling, and they find each other in these bars.
Yep.
And it turned into these leather bars, because everybody that was going to these specific bars rode motorcycles and wore leather.
And you wear leather when you ride a
And
motorcycle.
you
For
wear
those
leather.
who don't,
you wear leather
ride
boots,
motorcycles.
you wear leather vests, you wear leather jackets.
Yep.
And it was still kind
Chaps.
of pricey. Like,
Oh, yeah.
leather was pricey. So to have leather meant
special.
something.
Yeah.
And so then it became,
It's an investment in the
you
clothing,
met each other
and
in a bar.
so-
There were certain, you can flag in a bar.
Hold on,
And
flagging. What's flagging?
Flagging is, there's like a handkerchief code.
Yes.
And each handkerchief has a different color. Each color has a different meaning. There was different ways to flag. You could flag with your keys. You could flag with a handkerchief. It just depended on what region of the United States you were in, because it's region based. What you did in, say, on the East Coast was different than what you did on the West Coast. There were different parameters, different rules, different societies, because we didn't have the internet. There was nothing to unite them unless somebody physically went from the East Coast to the West Coast and
Yeah.
learned what they were doing.
It spreads around in motorcycle
Right.
culture. That's it.
So
Yeah, you'd wear a handkerchief in your back pocket.
you wear
on,
on
side
the
if
left
you're-
side or the right side,
Yep.
and you wear it in your back pocket, and then you could look across the bar and instantly know, are they a top, are they a bottom, and what are they into? And that's the other misconception about leather too, is it was very sex based. Like,
Yeah.
it was raw fucking.
Yep.
It wasn't all this cute kinky shit. Like, you
Not
literally
relationship, yeah.
looked at a person across the bar and saw maybe how they were flagging. You approached them, and then you went in the back room and you fucked.
Yep.
And then you came back out and had a drink, and
Yep.
then maybe you fucked somebody else, maybe you didn't. Maybe if they were like dynamic based and started serving you, then they became yours. Like, it just, that was the culture. And then that evolved over time into where us
Leather floggers.
normative straight people
Yeah.
or heterosexual people caught wind of it, caught onto it, and then wanted to be like, was not just fascinated, that's the wrong word, but like they identified with what the fundamentals of it were for them, but they weren't gay.
Right.
And
It's
so
still
they,
a counterculture. So when we're counterculture
so they
kind of people,
adapted
we identify
it.
with something.
They adapted it to their own.
Yeah.
And then now, but you still have very distinct communities. You have the gay leather community and you have the heterosexual leather community. And sometimes they mix and sometimes they don't.
Yeah. Current motorcycle clubs, same thing. Sometimes they mix and sometimes they don't.
Right. But there is still much a definitive gay leather community. And then there is
Which
the
is cool as shit.
heterosexual
I love
community.
that, 'cause it
But the
survived.
heterosexual community didn't really come about until about the late 70s, 80s.
So when you say gay too, you mean specifically men? Or
Gay men. Well, there was gay women.
They do.
Yeah,
do
they were
separate
they
too, or
were
they mix them?
accepted-ish. The lesbian women were
There were
accepted.
a lot of lesbian women in like
Yes.
the waves and the wasps
They
in the military.
they carved out.
It's shocking how many lesbian women were in the military.
There's lesbian women right now. I
awesome.
want to say in their mid to late 60s, we'll say, who, if you actually get to talk to them, and they have been doing this since they were in their
20s.
say maybe 20s, that's how they got their start, was in the gay leather culture. And they learned about leather and they learned about the lifestyle through the gay men that accepted them.
The older women that I
Yeah.
knew
So
in
Gay
high school.
men and women, they congregate together.
Yeah, if they have
Ish.
to. Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
The
It
women-
depended on the men and it depended on the women.
Yeah.
But then they're separate than the straight.
But then you had women that like really forged out and like, I keep saying like too much and it's a bad habit. They forged out and found other like-minded women.
That was
And-
okay. Like-minded.
Yeah. Other like-minded women. And there was a small sect of lesbian leather that you can, I think, trace back to the 50s,
Oh, I'm sure.
something like that. It gets fuzzy after that,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah, it was when they came back. They came back from the same war. They came back with the same, cultural issues. I'm wondering about. I think this is a derogatory term, but I actually heard it on the internet lately. On the internet, so saith the internet, so saith we all. Lipstick lesbian, derogatory term or not?
No,
I wonder.
not in my experience.
Yeah,
it's
I don't
not.
think so either. So I was wondering. And actually, I heard they self-identify as that. So I was like, oh, if that's I understand that.
In my experience,
wonder if they
it's
had-
not derogatory.
Yeah, I wonder if they had issues identifying in the leather community because they present as femme and then trying to identify as a lesbian in that community.
I think
and
that's
them
more
thinking,
probably
they're bi.
like late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah.
Interesting. I was very young when I was exposed to my first butch leather lesbians. They were the first people that started to talk to me about alternative lifestyle stuff when I got kind of
But leather
prevented
families, I am
Very
intrigued by leather families. I adore being around them. It's very
like old
comforting.
ones.
It's very comforting for me to be around them.
they have
It would
such
take a
rich history.
lot for me to agree to create a house or family or to be in one.
Well, little did you know you're the leader of my house.
Wow. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
it so much that the one thing that I wear to flag is a leather. I actually wear a leather. It's a cock ring that I bought in Berlin, in Germany, and it's the only thing that I wear to identify as kink. I'm not leather, but I just thought that's my homage to the leather.
So-
start
So
of the
I do
lifestyle.
identify as leather.
Yes, exactly.
My
Dame
question is,
identifies
why-
as leather, hard.
Why do the kink people not have the handkerchief thing too?
We do.
They don't, it's not taught. It's one of those if you know, you know.
So can
You wanna do it?
non-leather kink people do that?
Hell yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm buying some handkerchiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, we just talked about this.
But that doesn't
Oh,
mean
you
that.
thought it was a leather specific. It is not.
but that
leather
doesn't.
specific.
But
It's
that
kink.
doesn't mean that everybody's going to understand what it means.
No, they're not going to have any idea because
Yeah,
ours
that's fine.
is
But the ones that know.
The ones
Yeah.
that know,
Just
know.
like when I wear my FetLife shirts
Yeah.
out, and they're like,
Just
hey.
be careful what you flag.
No, this is just a couple's like, hey, this is at Disney
yeah.
World too. I was like,
But yeah,
hey.
you can flag with handkerchiefs. I know some people, if you know, like still flag with their keys. It just depends on where you are and who you're around.
the
tell you something,
Trisco, whatever it's called.
The swingers took your stuff. They stealing your colors and shit.
Oh
Doesn't
no, it's not the
surprise me.
swingers. The old people in the villages.
The
Well, that one too.
villages.
Swingers do it too.
Do
they
they?
use sponges.
Oh, yeah, they
though.
do.
They don't use.
They use the
handkerchiefs.
loofahs.
Yeah,
Loofah
the
sponges.
I
in
call
the
'em- I call 'em
villages. Yeah.
The
Poofs,
sponges.
scruffies, scrubbies,
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, they're taking the colors. So we should do that too. Geeky people should do that.
Yeah, the swingers do it at their parties. They wear a necklace, they little beaded necklaces and all that business.
We should wear the jelly.
Because you don't
bean-
have
the-
clothes on, so where you gonna? What pocket are you gonna put your handkerchief
We should
in?
wear the jelly bean bracelets.
Put it in your girl pocket.
like the middle schoolers.
Jelly bean bracelets.
It's ridiculous.
I
We'll
like
come up with a whole line. Yeah, that we can do for clothing ideas. So
Yeah.
you can flash your stuff.
Yep.
Even when you're naked.
Yeah, well,
There
that's
you
why they
go.
wear necklaces. Where are you
Because I
gonna
hate
put it?
going to like a public space and you have to do the whole rhythm and roll. Are you on top? Are you bottom? What are you doing? It?
Nah, screw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to
No,
know.
Just show
screw
me.
that. Let them have to answer those questions. Don't lose the art of conversation
I
just
want-
for being lazy.
I say I want
that's
mine to-
not that's not an art of conversation. There's so much lower, but it's like I'm gonna talk to you like so you know. I don't want to be some random person. That starts the conversation.
I want mine to be the colors of like a coral snake that says "Stay away from me."
Yeah, there
I
you
want to
go.
look poisonous.
See, There
Danger.
You can
Danger.
use it as like
danger. I'm a danger noodle.
I'm a danger
yeah.
noodle.
So-
I'm gonna wear a snake around my neck.
So you can just flash your thing
my
like
danger noodle necklace.
you ain't got to say anything. Just put
Yeah.
your wrist up.
GTFO.
Yeah, just put your wrist up. That
Yep.
way you ain't got people.
I mean, that's
talking
what I
to
do,
you.
and then they stop, so
Yeah.
that's fine. I don't
Some
need a
days you
bracelet
just
for
don't want to
that.
be talked to. Don't invite me to your little chat group.
If you don't want to
Come
be
over.
talked to, then
Oh,
why are
Lord.
you going
Don't-
to an event?
Don't come across to see my friends.
But you don't want to be talked to.
To my friends.
Oh,
I thought my
okay.
friends was going to be there.
Okay.
And then somebody came over and invited me to a little chat group. Like, I didn't know how to get into a chat group myself.
You're telling a story, and the listeners don't know what you're talking about.
No, this is hypothetical.
Hypothetical.
Hypothetical. You're sitting there.
There's a lot of eye rolling going on at the
There's a
table.
lot of eye rolling. It's
Minding your
hard.
own business, and people just come in and invite you to their chat group. Anyways, my point is, sometimes you just don't want to be fucked with. It's like, just leave me alone. Or I just want the one where, like, I can come talk to you if I wanted to, but you're not interesting enough, so I'm not going to do it.
Oh, I want that one. I want the one that says, I'm boring. Come talk to me. I'm boring. I'm going to bore the shit out of you. That's gray. That's the gray one. Gray
I need a
rock.
camera right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dame's face.
Dame's full full in the hand.
Dame's,
I
yeah.
can't.
That's great.
I need more alcohol.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah, these drinks
Okay.
this isn't strong enough. We need
There's tequila over there.
we need a little snoot put in
There's
this.
a little tequila. Actually, I got a
So
little.
where
to-go.
are we going with
I have
this?
the little
we were
to-go.
still talking-
No, we're squirreling. I got a
we're
little
squirreling.
to-go. I got a to-go container in there if you want
It's a
that.
squirrel noise.
But is that good for an overview? Because I
Yeah,
kind of
it's
understand
a
how
Cliff Note
families-
version.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or Beyond Leather?
It's a Cliff Note version. Yeah.
So you
That'll
say
work.
people are dressed up in kinky stuff, not in their leather stuff, and it
No,
was
kinky. Well, kinky could be leather.
Well,
Leather
yeah.
can be a kink, and you
Oh.
don't identify as leather.
Do they look down on you for pleather? That's what I wanted to ask. No,
Nobody looks down on me. If they do, they don't tell me.
They can go fuck
because
themselves.
you wear pleather.
Sometimes, yeah,
I mean,
So-
it's a costume. It's an outfit.
yeah.
Hey.
And you can
Question.
like
I don't
leather. You can get off, and your kink can be leather without identifying as leather, or you can identify as leather because you just think it's fucking hot and you like wearing it. I don't care.
I
It's
have
not
leather
my
boots.
identification, so I don't care.
Yeah.
What about the main leather people though?
I don't care. If they care, that's on them.
Yeah.
I don't care.
It's your identification. You don't take it personally.
No.
Yeah, because that's
If you come up to me and you're like, "Yeah, but I have a leather kink," I'd be like, "So do I."
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's hot.
Well, what does that
It's
mean
hot.
exactly? You just like leather toys or something?
What's the
Or-
difference between a leather kink and a
Vinyl kink. Latex.
Yeah, latex kink.
So you just like wearing leather stuff?
Yeah, there's people that just
Yeah, or
think
fucking
it's
with it.
hot to wear leather.
I think it's hot. I like wearing leather.
Yeah.
That's why I bought all that shit. I like wearing I like harnesses, leather harnesses, specifically leather. Yeah, like a horse.
Okay.
Just throw me around. Put a harness
I
on
know.
me. Throw me
The
around.
only time I start caring is when you misrepresent
holsters?
what you're doing.
Ah,
Yeah.
see, that's
Now,
where
if
I'm
you
getting
start wearing leather and identifying as leather, but you're misrepresenting what it's about, that's when I start caring.
Yeah, 'cause you're fucking around with somebody's culture then.
Yes.
That's what I feel like when someone's wearing a Marvel shirt. They don't know the fucking character.
Yeah, it's
is.
it's like geek culture stuff. So it's kind of like that. It's
I
not
should start
gatekeepy.
buy
though.
some Marvel shirts and wear them to the dungeon.
Yeah,
just to fuck
they
with
sell them at Target.
As long
Just
as
buy
you know
some
who
at
it
Target and
is.
be like, I don't know who the fuck.
long
But
as
do
you
I
know
ever
it's-
know who it is?
No,
I'm-
that's
I'm-
the best part. Oh, did we say the place of the watering hole? Do we want to cut that out? Watering hole. Yeah,
Who said it?
this one over here.
Ooh.
Old dame.
Bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bleep.
No. We can say FetLife, but not anything more specific.
We can say FET. All right.
Yeah.
Their website.
We can probably say where this was though. Where was Beyond Leather?
South Florida.
South Florida.
Yeah, that's public
the
knowledge.
second weekend in May. Is it usually every second weekend?
I think
in May?
it's pretty consistent. Yeah.
Okay, so it was Thursday through Sunday. People were wearing leather in their families, but they were not talking about leather.
No, the classes were not geared around leather. There
Was
was
there-
plenty of conversations.
Yeah.
but
Was there an intro to leather class at all? Nothing. Nothing.
That's
Okay.
all that you
amazing.
have the classes right there.
That's amazing.
Could be code words. For,
literally
I
have
don't know.
the
I know
classes.
nothing about leather. It could be
Really?
code words.
Wow. Hold
No,
on. Hold on.
no,
I want to. You really? What do you know and what do you not know? Did you know about some of the
we're not gonna
history,
scroll
the
into that 'cause
military
we
stuff?
talked about that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
That's a big part
no.
of kink history.
We talked about all that.
There, Mister.
We're not going to scroll on that part because
Because old McGillicuddy over there doesn't want to call himself
No.
out. That's why.
Donut Muncher.
Donut Muncher.
I'm not calling myself out. I can have a whole episode of my thing with the military.
No, I was thinking about the things you don't know about kink. What I want to do one about what you don't know.
Does anything to do with dynamics? I told you I don't do dynamics. Is there anything like formal and shit? I don't care about that crap.
Very
And
interesting.
I'm not gonna do my opinions and offend people, like you said, be disrespectful with it because I don't care. So I just choose not to wear leather stuff because I don't know what it means.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter what it means. If you're wearing it just because you enjoy it and you feel hot in it, then wear it.
That I don't care about that either. But I don't even know if I have any. I think I might have a leather jacket. But
Then wear it.
the thing is,
I wear my leather boots.
Dame, you're a very reasonable person. Not everybody feels the same way as you do. So.
well,
Yeah, but
listeners,
until
we'll just turn it off.
until people start living with the I don't care,
See, that's why I need
it's
the
not
bracelet,
going to
'cause
change.
This is the bracelet where I wear, like, you can come talk to me about the shit I'm wearing, but I don't give a fuck. That's
see,
why I want the bracelet.
I give a fuck just because I wear the leather bracelet because I give a fuck about the history of the community. And if somebody asks me, I tell them what it is and I tell them why I wear it, but I don't have to identify with it. And I have leather boots too.
Yeah,
same
I
thing.
don't want those questions.
See,
give a fuck about
I feel like we're here to educate and to bring it into the mainstream. Why
I felt
wouldn't
bad
you
because I do
want the
have
questions?
leather
You
boots.
of all people.
And I talked to a friend that was very much into, like, boot blacking. And she's like, yeah, you got to dirty your boots up for you so I can clean it sometime. I was like, I don't really wear them that much. It's like, it's too
Where-
formal. It's too much. That was too much for me. That was too much.
Dame looks like Dame has opinions. Dame's got opinions.
Okay, so
Interesting.
let's see here.
I'm interested in his
They
perspective
called
on
these salons. I would have been good, like slut A, B, C, and D. That was hilarious. So they had it broken down into different rooms. I guess they were called salons. I would have called it sluts, but that would have been funny. So we have just a bunch of pet play, Florentine flogging,
Hey,
orgasm
talking to your mic.
control. I'm yelling. Calm down.
You're not yelling.
You can hear me.
Now I can.
Sex empowerment, face slapping,
it here.
self suspension. How about you just shut it? Play piercing. Okay.
Play piercing. Ooh.
Yes, there's a lot of
Stapling?
interesting stuff in here.
I like
and then
staples.
they had the meet and greets and like the dungeon, as you said. Anything in particular that stood out to you? Like maybe some of the classes you went to?
I mean, the stuff that
or
she took notes on.
well, yeah, that's what I was.
Duh.
They don't know that. Can I build a story?
Oh, okay.
Can I build a story? Thank you. Thank you very much. Jesus, you're horrible. You're
I am
just horrible. This.
I might
It's
have-
called building a story.
I
It's
may or may not
entertainment.
have done that on purpose.
Entertainment.
Just like I'm going to wear a Marvel shirt the next time we go out.
So good.
This is so funny. Okay,
yeah.
so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Please continue.
Don't do that noise again. That's a great
Continue with what?
Anything that stood out to you
Well, I know-
besides the outfits?
Besides the outfits. No, I mean, it was just, as far as classes go, I went
want
to
the book back?
Yeah, let me have the book back. I went to a lot of good classes.
We knew Dame was going. I want to add to the story, and we started to actually get for the podcast and for our own purposes and conversations. We actually started to get into this stuff, and we take notes about things now. We're really
Yes.
writing stuff down. We're like getting professional and formal.
Oh, fancy.
There were a couple of classes that I thoroughly enjoyed. Like, I would watch these prisoners clean their house. I mean, but I really liked them. As far as there was a couple I had we didn't see eye to eye, but that was okay. We don't have to.
Were they decent teachers?
Well, I liked the instructor. I didn't necessarily like the message they were sharing.
I'd have a
Oh, you
problem
mean
with
the
that too.
instructor is, nothing worse than a woman scorned. Nothing. Nobody.
Oh my
said,
God.
Ooh,
Nobody said
Yeah.
anything like that.
ouch.
No, it just like there was one class that was punishment with a purpose.
Ooh.
And I was on board with most of the things that were going on until about halfway through the class. He kind of flipped the script a little and was talking about how, because all of it was geared towards like basically the D type punishing the S type in whatever form dynamic you have. I'll just use D and S for this sake. And I was on board until about halfway through when they kind of flipped the script of the class and was talking about how submissives, the S types, punish their D types. And then I'm like, okay, this is turning interesting. And what we ended up fundamentally disagreeing on was that when S types react to what is being said or done to them, their reaction is them punishing the D type. So
Ooh,
say
I
I'm
don't like that.
say I'm the D type.
Yeah.
And you're the S type, okay? And you do something, and I tell you, okay, we're going to correct this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and your punishment is wall sits, whatever. It's just something bullshit. Like we'll just use that as an excuse, right?
Smell my socks.
Right. And you get mad and pout and throw a fit because I told you to do this.
So it sounds like a brat there.
You, in theory, are punishing me because I'm making you do something. And the way that they were phrasing it, though, was just like it was normal. It was natural. Like it was almost like it was okay, was the gist I was getting. And so, but the problem that we were having is he was saying, even if the reaction to the punishment or the reaction to the conversation or whatever the stimulus was, was involuntary. The reaction is involuntary.
Ooh.
It's still a form of punishment.
That's not true. Yeah,
And
that would be a problem.
and so then we had a person in the audience that shared that that they had a partner, say, with PTSD. And so they had to learn how to navigate this partner, because if they brought something up that triggered the PTSD, that they didn't always have control over their reactions to it. It took them a little bit to re-regulate. It took them a little bit to
I don't know what
get
that's
over
like.
the PTSD reactionary part of what was being said or done,
Yep.
so that they could discuss it or talk about it. And so this person in the audience looked at the presenter and was like, so what you're telling me is that that person's reaction is them punishing me.
Did they say yes?
And they said, well, in theory, yes.
Oh no!
And so
no.
we were like
Ooh.
sitting there, like some of us had like this look on our face, and I guess he could tell the look on our
I'd have
face.
walked out. I literally would have walked out.
And
be
and
like, "That's
so
bullshit," and I
he
would've stood up and
pointed
left.
at me, and he was like, "You look like
Why you?
I know.
Because of your face?
I guess my face." And
Shit.
and I said, "No, I know what it was." He said, is there anybody here that disagrees with me?" And there were a lot of us that raised our hands. And he pointed at me, and he's like, "Why?" And I said, "Because you're telling us that somebody's involuntary reaction
Traumatic
to a
trigger
stimulus
reaction. Yes.
to,
It's
however,
a reflex, basically. It's
your
a nervous system
involuntary
reflex.
reaction to stimulus is a form of punishment to that person." And I was like, so you're basically saying that these people are punishing other people without knowing that they're doing it, without trying, without caring, without thought.
Like it's a
And
choice.
you're saying basically an involuntary reaction is a punishment, and those two things are completely different things.
All right, I got a problem with that, because I do something similar. I have some real nasty, it's complex PTSD reactions from triggers.
He went on with the class, and he tried to kind of talk about it and talk
around it. Was he trying to
around it.
make an apologist kind
not
of?
really,
Like,
but then he
Really?
circled back to me like 10
Good.
minutes later and said,
Good.
"How do you feel about it now?"
still feel like you're a
And
wiener.
so I looked at him and I said, "I think we're just going to have to fundamentally agree to disagree on this, because
Ooh.
I'm never going to see your view of this."
if I
Okay.
could choose to never react like that, if anybody
And he
ever
said
saw that
that's
as a
he was like,
punishment-
"Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but that's fair."
Wow.
What?
If
Yeah.
I could choose to never have reactions
Okay.
like that, I would. How
So-
dare somebody think that that's a person who was
punishment.
traumatized?
And see, I even wrote down, ask me about this.
Purposefully.
Reaction is being equated to a punishment.
That's what I
Oh,
thought
that's
you
what you
meant.
meant.
And I
Okay.
looked and I was like, I think I know exactly what she means. Yeah, that was in the notes. If I could remove my reactions like that, I would. That is not a choice.
Okay.
And that
And
is that
so,
would be cruel.
so here's from the S side.
I
so
burst
here's,
into tears sometimes. Like, why
here's
would I
where
do
my
that to my
notes-
partner on purpose?
Here's where the notes come in is
That's gross that he said that.
from the S side. Do D types get punished? Do D types get punishment? And his answer is yes. But then he went on to clarify, we get ignored, we get grumpy faces. Sometimes we punish ourselves because
Talking about bratting.
Yeah, I think that's bratting. I don't know.
and that reactions and like the whole we punish ourselves,
Yeah.
which I get that, because we don't, like, depending on your view of punishment, which we could go into a whole philosophy about punishment,
Oh, yeah,
but depending on your view about punishment, it's that age-old parent, this is going to hurt me more than it hurts you kind
Yeah.
of thing. That's where he's coming from with this, like, I love you, I care about you, you are my most precious person and thing in the world, and it hurts me that I have to do this to you. That's us punishing ourselves.
I was thinking like they punish themselves because they've made a mistake.
No. It's
All right.
about the actual. It was the other direction.
Okay. You know what I'm thinking? A good punishment from an S type to a D type. Let's say the D type ties the S type up with rope, and they make a mistake, and the S type unties themselves and then says, "I'm not going to do rope with you anymore until you learn how to do that properly."
Aha. That's part of the S type punishment.
Yeah.
I won't do this until you do this.
Right, which is
So-
also you can turn it around. I was thinking about this. There's a more gentle, nice way to say it for those of us, let's say, who have trauma. Say, "I will do this with you again when you do this."
Okay.
Instead of the punishment, say,
Yeah.
"You'll do it."
So
Positively.
from the BDSM wiki, punishment is defined as the infliction or imposition of a penalty / consequence as retribution for an offense.
An offense.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
So
I would prescribe to that.
Somebody's action they couldn't control.
Yeah,
is
they're
an
talking.
offense.
Yeah, they're talking being offended by someone's uncontrollable reaction. I can see being hurt by it because it can hurt you that somebody reacts a certain way, but it's not. Don't take it personally, and it's not.
Well, there's a difference between
punishment.
taking it personal and viewing it as a punishment.
Yeah. Actually, I guess you can take it personally. Sometimes it is about you. Maybe you triggered that reaction.
Right.
And you're like, oh shit, I did something accidentally, and whoops.
But then again, it all goes
It's not a
back
punishment,
to
though.
your philosophy of punishment.
Wild. That is a wild ass perspective to have.
So I guess
that someone's
what do you consider an
reflex offense?
What do you consider
Not-
an offense?
Yeah.
Offense.
Not
No,
offense.
offense is football.
Yeah.
An offense.
No.
Oh my
Offensive.
Oh god. So yeah, what do you consider an
your
offense?
bullshit, bro.
It depends. That's an open-ended question.
I can't see somebody's. They can control their reaction. What he's talking about is bratting. Like, if you're rolling your eyes, and that's like, what?
Yeah,
Just like the person
grumpy
said,
face.
PTSD. You can't consider that a punishment.
No.
You
Right.
can't control that.
PTSD is a reflex more so than any kind of reaction. It's very reflexive. It's neurological at that point. It's built
not,
into your
it's
nervous
not
system.
something that they choose to do. People who have PTSD don't choose their reactions and when they get them.
Oh my God, if I could choose not to react the way I do, I would. That is not a choice.
Right.
Me bursting into tears is not a choice.
And if you're into dynamics, I would figure you would find that stuff out.
You'd know that
beforehand.
shit. Yeah, you know what?
Find
Nobody does their
wait a minute. Find what stuff out?
Somebody's reaction to something.
No.
PTSD
That's not
triggers
fair.
and
You can't put that
reactions.
on just people who have dynamics. You have non-dynamic partners.
No, I'm
That's
saying before I
relationship
even
stuff.
get
That's
into
relationship
no, I didn't say
stuff.
just DS. I said if you get into a DS, I figured you would figure that stuff out.
Why?
beforehand.
Why do you think that they would figure it out beforehand?
Why
would a dynamic give you more insight into a person than a non-dynamic?
Because you
Do you not still have relationships with people?
I didn't say I don't do that because I'm not in a dynamic. I'm saying if you get into a dynamic, I would figure out most of that stuff. The reactions would be figured out by then.
Why?
Because you just getting into dynamic with people not knowing them.
Do you get in relationships with people not knowing them?
Yeah, but
Okay.
then before I decide I'm going to be girlfriend.
But do you know
boyfriend,
everything about them before you get in a relationship with them? Before
Before-
you make that decision?
Before I become boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yes. Do you know everything about them? You know how they're
Yeah,
going to
just
react to
about.
everything?
In play,
Everything.
just about, yeah.
In play.
Yeah.
That's different.
And I didn't say 100%.
Because dynamic is lifestyle. Dynamic is not play-based.
And I also said most of it. I didn't say all of it. I said most
You're
of
making very broad strokes.
it. Yeah.
You want me to step in or you want to keep going?
No, I'm
Okay.
fine with that.
All
I'm
right.
talking about like what this person is talking about.
'Cause I know what you do because I know what you do.
Exactly. So I don't, and also I don't subscribe to most people where they just, this is a month-long process.
Just a month?
I said
Months.
months-long.
Yeah.
Months long.
He didn't enunciate his
Months-long.
S.
Oh.
Months-long
months long.
process.
But I'm just saying
So
though,
my
it doesn't
point
matter
is-
how much time you take.
I'm
to
not
get
saying
to,
you're not going to
Let me
learn
finish.
everything.
Just
I know what you're
exactly.
saying. I didn't get to finish. You cut me off before I even got to finish. My point is, if you're getting into a dynamic, I figure there'd be a long process before then. And as far as this presenter's talking about, what he's describing is bratting behavior. That's not like a reaction that somebody can't control. That's a big difference between what he's talking about and like PTSD. So he's lumping all that together. That's not the same thing.
That's why we fundamentally disagreed.
And then that's what I'm talking about. And he's talking about like S types and like D types. So that's why I'm confused because he's lumping that all together. To me, you would know the difference between if somebody's bratting versus they have a uncontrollable reaction.
It
Yeah.
depends because some people brat as an action and some people brat as an adjective.
That's what I'm saying.
I
So
brat
it-
out of personality. I don't do it
Like
on
some
purpose.
people go like you know how like in the kink world we talk about little space, like the head space.
Yeah.
People get into a brat headspace.
That's
So
right.
for them, it's not an action anymore. It's a part of who they are. So it would be reactionary for them.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like a naughty
That's what I'm
puppy.
saying.
I just do it. Like,
So that's
I'll just
what I'm
bite
saying,
you.
though, is you're saying that, like, the eye rolling, the grumpy face, all of that, you're saying that that is a conscious, bratty action that the person is doing. And what I'm saying is there are people who get into a brat head space where these are reactionary actions for them. They're
Right.
not a
Personality
conscious thought.
traits
It's a
Yeah,
personality
exactly.
trait.
That's what I'm saying. But the way he's lumping it together, for me, as somebody, once you get into the dynamic, you can tell whoever your bottom S-type, whatever, what the difference is between that.
Between a trauma reaction and bratting personality behavior.
Yeah.
Okay, let me sum up. Let me sum up, because I know what you mean. You personally don't get into DS dynamics really in the first place, but also if you did, you'd have a long relationship with that person in the first place and know them as a person and as a partner. So you would have already learned their trauma triggers because that's what you do as a person. You discover them as an individual and develop a full relationship with them over months and months and months. And then if you wanted to get into a dynamic, you would. You personally.
That also, yes.
That's the difference between you and what this guy was talking about.
That's why I'm so confused.
Which
because
is why you're confused.
He's lumping it together. It's two different things.
He might be getting into a faster DS dynamic without maybe having a relationship and then equating someone's...
And then saying it's a punishment when you have a...
Yeah, I get it, yeah.
Start
Equating
crying or something?
Yes,
There's
equating their
different types of
trauma
crying.
triggers to punishment when really it's, they've burst into tears because they reacted in a way that was indicative of trauma that they had, and he didn't know about it, and now it's a punishment. Like, no, that's a human who got triggered by something, and it's not a conscious choice to do that. You're saying you wouldn't experience that, and it's kind of true because you see, I don't know, you know about CPTSD, PTSD, triggers, that kind of stuff. You
Yeah,
personally.
right.
Not everybody knows that. You want people to do their research. They didn't do the people work, is what you're saying.
He
didn't do his people work.
Teaching a class, it's like, there's...
People
You can't
work.
just lump all that together. People have trauma. Like, you don't know what's going to set somebody off. Some people don't like being choked.
Yeah.
So that's a punishment if you choke them and then they just...
Burst into tears?
just fight you off?
They're punishing you?
It's not a punishment.
Yeah.
But to me, I figured,
Yeah, you're bringing your own
Yeah.
perspective
to
into
get
it.
into a
too.
dynamic, you would test
You-
that out first.
Yeah, do the people
It
work.
can't be all together. There's differences.
Yeah, you're seeing it from the perspective. Yeah, that's why you're making the faces. You're seeing it from the
there's
perspective
teaching
you've
this
got.
in the class. But anyway,
This is why we have the podcast, because not everybody does the people work in advance, and you need to do the work before you get into these things and understand what PTSD is and what triggering somebody feels like and what the reactions might be, and that reflexes aren't a punishment. Mm-hmm. You hit your funny bone. you know?
Anything else you want to on this specific?
Anyway, did I sum up you how you do things? Did I
That's
sum up
fine.
your perspective?
That's
I
fine.
tried.
Okay, so
That's
yeah,
the
we
thing
were
that
supposed to
bothers
like
him the
break
most.
down every class. We're not, we're just trying to do like an overview of everything.
That's still a sticking point, though. That's some bullshit. So that's fine. Hey, man.
Well, we can't critique everybody. You said most of it was good though. It was good information. besides
Yeah,
that
there
part.
was a lot of
I just looked.
there
at
was
my
a
microphone. Gross.
lot of really good information. There was a lot of things that made sense. Things not to do because of mental health, as form of punishments. Things.
Yeah, these were real triggery to me because I read your notes and some of it was like, it hurt me.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So no, it was very informative. He was a very good presenter.
Was this all punishment with a purpose?
The whole
that was
thing.
this one. I like
Yeah.
that. This is the one that I read the most, and I was like, ooh. So one of the quotes is, "Triggers that go unresolved will turn into trauma." Yes, I identified with a lot of these concepts, and I'm like, yeah, I certainly will. Holy shit. So yeah, these were rad. You can't delete a habit. You can only replace behavior. So I know enough about psychology. That's true. You can't just stop yourself from thinking something. You have to redirect the thought to build new neural pathways. You must redirect the behavior. And until you actually replace the behavior and start to physically do the behavior, you will not develop those neural pathways. You must actually engage in the activity. And then the old neural pathway will start to atrophy and kind of die off.
Yep.
So that one little quote, "You can't delete a habit. You can only replace behaviors." That is neurologically sound.
Yes.
So very cool that he
Yeah.
wrote some of that. He said some of this. I'm glad you wrote that down. Yeah, don't ignore childhood traumas, all that stuff.
Was there any
It's
other
beautiful.
classes that stuck out to you?
Oh yeah, this
My
one.
favorite class of the entire thing, by far,
Big smile.
It is.
She's got a big smile
It was
on her
my
face.
favorite class. It resonated so much with. It was the sexual empowerment class.
So much that you barely took any notes because you must
I
have
just
been
stopped.
engaged. Yep.
Yeah, I just stopped
gotta
taking
listen.
notes because it wasn't really a class that you take notes about because it was
an
so
experience,
interactive
right?
and
Yeah.
so situational,
Immersive.
to it.
That's
Yes,
the word I'm thinking.
There you
Immersive.
go. It was
I've been thinking of that word for a week.
such a dynamic and amazing presenter. I would, if I found out she was teaching anything, I would go and listen to her.
It's cool.
I would subscribe to her TED Talk.
Cool.
Yeah, she was really cool. I out of shits and giggles, I went to this one class called Managing Your Dominant.
I should read more about that.
But I got
a lot to learn.
I got a lot of good nuggets for relationship based. Like it really hearing things from an S side really helps you see things from a D side.
Yeah. I'm lucky.
And
I'm such a switch. I'm
It was
very switchy.
It was really
So I can see
good
both.
that way. Being able to view more of an S type class as a D type because you got to see the different side of things, see the psychology of where they're coming from, maybe why they think the way that they do or do the things that they do, so that you can go, okay, that makes more sense. Or, now I know how, like if maybe something I'm trying isn't working, now I could see why it's not working because of the way I'm approaching it or the way I'm viewing it and stuff like that. So
I have a question for the two of you who identify more on the D side, and
Okay.
I, in relationships, would identify more on the S side. So I'm just reading the notes and thinking about what you just said. From an S perspective, it really is the foundations of relationships that
Yeah.
affect my S type more. So the submission that I've got and my personality and the way that I approach anything that's even remotely dynamic, including play, scenes, relationships, is based on the security and the safety I have in the relationship, not about the dynamic. And so anything that's dynamic based, I take it personally in my relationship too. And anything relationship based, I will take it personally and it affects the dynamic. Is that something that the D types do too? Like, does it mess up your headspace? Your relationship's going funny? You can... It's
I
like
think
I
it-
can't
I think
shut
it
it off.
just
I don't
depends
compartmentalize.
on-
It's all blended together.
I think it would just depend on whether or not the person I'm in a dynamic with, I'm in a relationship with.
Let's
Because
assume
they're
yes.
exclusively, they're not inclusive.
Let's assume yes.
Okay, so we're assuming that the person I'm in a dynamic with, I'm also in a relationship with.
Yep.
And what's the question?
How much does the relationship and safety and security you feel with the person affect the dynamic? And then vice versa, if there's a rupture in the dynamic, how much does that affect your personal relationship? Because to me, on the submissive side, I'm looking at the notes here, and it's like one of the quotes was, "Be careful with your words. When you are angry, they can only be forgiven, not forgotten." And I thought, ooh, that's big for me. You do that like if in a scene or something, or in a relationship, I won't be able to scene with you. If you do it on like a regular old day, that somebody says an angry word, it's going to affect me if we try to scene later that night. I mean, I can't.
But
shut
I
it
think
off.
you could equate it. So what
'Cause I
my
equate it
mind,
with relationship safety, and I'm bottoming. Let's say, it just feels so like I'm. Let's say that's bottoming is like being penetrated, right? You're kind of the.
you're this receptive.
You're the yeah. And that,
Receptacle?
yeah, sure.
Receptacle.
The
Got it.
receiver. It's the receiver. And that to me feels more vulnerable. I shouldn't say more, though, because I know the other side, too. You're just as vulnerable as a dominant and as a top. You can get hurt just as badly emotionally.
But
I don't know.
Hearing you equate the two, what's coming into my head is what's the difference between what you're describing? You know, if something goes wrong in your relationship and you're supposed to scene, like you're not in the headspace to be able to do that because you don't feel safe.
Yep.
What's the difference between that and you get in an argument in your relationship, but you're supposed to go on a date that night? Do you really still feel like going out to this nice romantic dinner and to a movie or to a concert when you just got done fighting or anything during the day?
It'd be easier. Because I'm not
I would
putting myself-
disagree because
I'm not giving up some of my autonomy by going on a date. I might still be able to get through that, still have a decent time. We're going to have a common experience together, but it's not...
Well, that's how I view a scene.
I feel like I'm relinquishing some of my autonomy when I'm scening, some of my control. I'm giving up a lot of my
See, that's where
power
I
and-
fundamentally disagree, because I still think that the bottom and submissive has all the control, even in a scene. Because at any point in time, they can turn around and look at me and say, stop, and I have to.
See, I wouldn't be able to see because I'd be emotionally compromised and I might not recognize it. That's a whole nother discussion. I just went off on a total tangent. I squirreled.
Yeah, I think this has to do specifically with you.
Yeah, because
think so?
I don't.
You guys
I
might
view-
not know though, as
Well,
like
you just
real
said it.
S types. Because if I say that to S types, they might think something.
Well,
they might
no,
side
and you
with
said
me.
it at the beginning too. You don't compartmentalize. We compartmentalize.
Yeah,
So
S types might not.
you could be both. That's a personality thing.
It might.
I think
be,
the compartmentalization is a personality, not a dynamic
Yeah, that's a personality thing.
identifier.
You don't think they're what's that called? Self-selecting. If you have that personality type where you view relationships as like fluid and
I think T types. If you're not able to compartmentalize, you probably want to go on a date or a scene either. So.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if people who don't compartmentalize self-identify more, like self-select more as S types, and people who do compartmentalize.
I don't
That's
know.
T-type
I've
thing. I don't know.
I've never looked
There's-
at that kind of correlation
Yep,
before.
going too deep. All
Yeah.
right, back to the top. We're coming back up,
But,
for air. Back up to the surface.
But so I really
Managing your
appreciated this class because it gave me an insight to more of some of the mentality of why they do some of the things that why the S types do some of the things that they do, or what they get out of it, or like their ideology behind it. And so that I'm able to sit back and go, because I'm always fascinated. I started in this lifestyle as a submissive, but I was a horrible submissive. I was good. I was an amazing submissive, but I was horrible.
Maybe it felt horrible. Like it
Well-
wasn't your your personality.
It always felt like my shoes were too small.
Didn't fit.
That was the feeling, was like when you wear the wrong size something. So you look good in it, and you wanted the outfit, and you're gonna wear it anyway.
It's a little
But
uncomfortable.
it's just a little, that's the best way I know how to
looks
describe
good, but doesn't feel good.
my stint as a submissive. But
I like the way you said stint. My stint.
I
Serve my time. It's
yeah,
over.
exactly.
I have always had an immense appreciation for submissives, for slaves, because to watch them and watch the mental process that they go through for certain things, or watch the intricate detail that they put into things, and what is so meaningful to them that it's like get a mop, I'm wet. Like it's amazing to me. I love it. And so to be able to go to a class and be able to get in my mind, a sneak behind the curtain of maybe why they do, and hearing why they do what they do, or how they use what they love to serve the D type, and what they get out of it. It was an amazing
hospitality
ability. It was an amazing opportunity for me to get to it. So I kind of went into the class, if you notice, there's 3 pages of notes. I wrote more notes on this class than I did any other. Because there were so many nuances to what they talked about.
This practice being in a state of gratitude, mindset, positivity.
There was so many, like one of my favorites I'll share is control is an illusion. You're never actually in control of anything. You are in command of things. So you would be disillusioned to think that you can actually control anything. You can't control it. You can't control another person. You can't control another person's thoughts. You can't control what they say. You can't.
Right over there, Coach.
You can't.
Term
You
for
can't
this.
ever. And I've always raised my kids with this saying that I've used with them since they were old enough to, in my mind, to understand it. And you're never going to be able to control what somebody says or does. You cannot. There is nothing in this world. There's no degree. There is no psychology. There is no pill. There is no training that can teach you or give you the ability to control what somebody says or somebody thinks or how somebody reacts. The only thing you can control in your life is how you choose to react to it and how you choose to let it affect you. So if you walk around knowing that you can't control, I can't control what you think of me. I can't control how you process the information that I give you. but what I can control is how I choose to react to what you say to me, or I choose to process and internalize how I let it affect me and how I let it drive what I do next. A guy cuts you off in traffic. You can't control that somebody's going to cut you off in traffic, but you can control whether or not you're going to lose your shit and honk your horn and flip him off and yell a bunch of shit that he'll never hear. Or you can choose to be like,
That sucked.
that sucked. Let me back off this person. And then you keep going where you were going, whether that person existed or not. Life's about choices.
I like knowing you can also control improving your communication or the way that you do it next time.
Right.
You
So
can
that's where
attempt
I really like you're in
improve your delivery.
command of things, but you're never in control of things.
Yes.
In
So
all
we
of life.
call the depth of arrogance. Thinking you control somebody else or something. Depth of arrogance. It is very
Another one
much
for
in
the
society.
S-type, but I actually put a little caveat note that it's meant for the S-type, but I think it could work for both sides, the S's and the D's, is you cannot surrender where you don't feel safe. And so they keep using the word surrender or giving up power or giving up control when referring to the S-type, but people never actually stop and think about what kind of things that a D-type surrenders or gives up control over or is vulnerable about.
I was just going to say it's the
And
vulnerability. You
it's-
can't be
and it's-
vulnerable until you feel safe.
It's D-types have a lot of what we are vulnerable about or what we give up control about might not be equivalent or the same as what the S-type deals with, but it doesn't mean that there's not equally something that we do have vulnerability about. It just might be different things, but we still experience it. So it was a lot of relationship-y things and a lot of communication things that I got out of it.
Everybody needs to take that class. I loved those
Yeah.
notes.
Set a boundary to break a pattern, and you set a boundary to break a pattern, and you set a standard to live by. So, like, if there's a pattern, like, say that was more like for the D types, where if there's a pattern of behavior that you don't like, that your S type is doing, you're setting a boundary, you're putting a parameter. I'll say in my former dynamic, my S type was always late to everything, had time management issues, right? So I set a boundary. I set a thing. You will not be late to an event or else. I set a boundary. You have to be within these parameters. But then I set standards for him to live by. I taught him how to schedule, taught him how to use tools at his disposal so that we could change that.
Time is important because of respect. If
Right.
you respect the person,
Right.
you'll be on time. That's the standard.
So
it's a standard of respect.
It was things like that. Another little nugget that I wrote down was, if I can identify how I am feeling, then I can take ownership of it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is all good.
Yeah.
All,
Yeah. If I cannot identify how I'm feeling,
you don't know
then
what the fuck to do
I
with
place
it.
blame on someone else and they become a catalyst. And that's what happens a lot of times when, even with S&Ds, with dynamics, you have disagreements. It's still a type of relationship. So if I can identify that I'm feeling lonely, or it goes back to that class that I teach about using the emotion wheel. If you can identify how you feel, then you can better communicate. People start lashing out and not making sense and start making it about somebody else when they are floundering in their mind about how they really feel, because they're drowning. And so you become what they grab onto because they don't know how to process what's in their head. Mm-hmm. If I don't know how I'm feeling in an argument, I just know I'm mad, right? I know I'm mad. I know I'm upset. I know I'm pissed off. And how many times have you been in an argument with somebody and you're like, but why are you so mad? And they're like, I don't know. I just am. but then they turn it around and go, well, they're mad because you didn't take out the garbage and you didn't do the dishes and you didn't do this and you didn't do that. Is that really what you're mad about? Or are you just using me as a catalyst because you're really feeling lonely because I didn't come home until 10 o'clock last night?
Just going to say that.
Or
that's the exact example I was going to use.
Or you're feeling neglected because we haven't been on a date in 2 weeks. So because you feel neglected because we haven't been on a date 2 weeks, now you're going to find all the faults and all the things that you haven't done right. Mm-hmm. Because I don't know that that's really why. Mm-hmm. I just know I'm mad at you.
You're right there?
Nope, had a joke. I'm going to keep it to myself.
Do it.
Nope.
Say it.
So it's all about, like,
you do it
if
too.
you can
Avoid
identify how you're feeling,
Say it.
then you can
on.
own how you're feeling, and you don't necessarily feel the need or have the foundation to lash out at the next person because you now have something to work on. You have something that you can put a finger on it. Like, it's tangible then.
Joke.
Nope.
Come on.
Insert misogyny joke here.
Ooh, burn. You do it too there, bro. I was like, oh, he does it too. You got one emotion, annoyed. I'm annoyed. Like, okay.
What was the last thing you put
And
there?
that's it. And what's behind that? I don't know. Annoyed. He's just annoyed with everything. He can be angry and he's like, I'm just annoyed. I'm like, okay.
What were you saying?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Misogyny
Practice
joke. You're
being,
full of shit.
So one of the things that they were saying that helps you with your partner, because everybody is always so quick to look at the negatives. So one of
Negativity
the
bias.
things that you can do, that you can try to make a conscious decision in your life as you go about your life. It doesn't have to be just dynamic. It could be at the grocery store or in your car. Practice being in a state of gratitude.
Yes, adopt a mindset of gratitude.
Adopt a mindset of positivity. And when you have gratitude for small things, it's easier to be grateful for larger things.
Mm-hmm. Hey, donut muncher. What are you rolling your eyes for?
I like donuts.
Sighing.
I like
There you go. Are you
like
grateful? The donuts exist.
Did you high five yourself today?
There you go. High five. Hey.
You got to high five
Hey.
yourself.
Hey, grateful for a partner who lets
You're supposed to high five
Hey,
yourself.
listen, I'm going to high five you for a partner who lets me like vent before I see him, and then we can have like a good night because we already talked about the stuff.
No, there's actually a thing where you're supposed to high five
Come
yourself.
on, it's gratitude. Grateful for that.
Yeah, but you're supposed to high five yourself in the morning. Do you high five yourself in the morning?
I
You gotta
text
high
him.
five.
I text him things I'm grateful for. I'm like, I'm
Oh.
grateful for this.
Well, you're supposed to be
Exactly
grateful
that.
for yourself first.
Yeah, are you grateful
So
for yourself?
they said you'll have a whole less negativity bias if you'll be more positive in the morning. If you're grateful in the morning, you just high five yourself and you like look in the mirror and you say, "You're doing awesome."
If you have nothing else to be grateful for, at least you have you.
You're grateful for yourself.
I woke up today. Yay! I didn't die in my sleep. I'm grateful for that.
So yeah, so I really got a lot out of that class. I enjoyed it.
That's good shit. That's stuff we've been studying for like 2 years. Some of the basic stuff. The fact that people are talking about that so openly and bringing it into the community and teaching courses about it is rad as shit.
Because you said a lot of these people are non-kink people.
They're all kink people.
All the people, presenters are kink people? Oh, I thought you
The
said
only one that was not a kink person was
sex empowerment
the
lady.
sex empowerment.
Yeah.
She taught the one class.
I love
No,
your
she taught
notes,
two
by the way.
classes.
She taught two?
Yes.
I missed the other one.
She taught sex empowerment and sexy talk. It was like a sexy talk type
Okay,
class.
so
Oh, is
Oh.
that the? Yeah, that was the one. That was
Dirty
Talk.
talk.
Dirty
Dirty
talk
talk.
one.
Yes, that was amazing too.
Oh.
Absolutely freaking amazing.
God, I wish I'd have been there for Mindfucks.
I'm still blushing about the dirty talk one. It's funny.
Nobody knows what you're talking about.
I know.
You want to give an example for the people?
No,
You don't like the dirty talk?
no, we went. No, I'll tell everybody. We went out to dinner and talked a little bit about this, and I was like, "Do I dirty talk, or do I talk dirty?" I'm like, never good at that. And then somebody asked, "What did you ask?" What
To give Damon an example.
Oh, an example of the stuff that I say, and I wouldn't.
No.
Turn purple. Where we
Because
need a
then I
camper.
remembered.
She
I thought
instantly
of the
turned
stuff I said, and I'm
purple,
like,
pink, purple shades of
We-
red.
Oh, we need a
all
camera.
over. Yeah,
I guess
You can put a close up on your face.
kind of close to what the shades you were turning
Yeah.
now. Yeah,
you're too
very
embarrassed
close.
to talk about it.
Yeah.
Probably not fit for
Anyways.
public consumption.
No, I mean,
I love your
Patreon,
notes,
that's
and
why.
especially this was the class when I was reading these. I was like, "Fuck!" I recognize all of that stuff, and it's a little triggery to read your notes. Actually,
Is it?
yeah, just for me because I had to study all that stuff so much, and it's so relationship based.
It is.
I love though that they went into that because it's so important to me. The relationship part of this whole lifestyle, it's so desperately important to me. That was really nice.
And also, this is what I want to say, for our little weekly meeting that you lead or whatever, I think we should do more hybrid of that stuff for that.
Weekly meeting. Oh,
Yeah.
the once a month?
Yeah.
Monthly, not the weekly.
Yes, that one.
Yeah, the
Anyways,
thing we do once a month.
yeah, because I wonder if
At the
the
place.
S-types would be like willing to talk to the D-types and tell them stuff.
No, fuck them. You think nobody's going to
Well,
talk
we
to each
did
other?
the hybrid thing. Yeah.
They're not going to talk to each
Maybe
other.
one day we can get that.
No.
Because we did the hybrid. There was a lot of people there, but it wasn't.
We have enough, I don't know, we have enough switches.
Because I think the D-type should learn more about that stuff.
Here's
I
the
know
deal.
I was very educated.
Yeah, it was
When
very
I,
educational for you.
Eye-opening when I learned about the S-type perspective.
So, it depends on if the S-types would feel safe doing that, and there is a huge difference in personality, ego disparities, and safety of talking to someone who's got a dominant personality but isn't your partner, because boy, people can be assholes. People can just be
That would
absolute
take a lot of management on my
fucking
part.
assholes, right? And then S-types can be arrogant and bratty little shits. It happens. It happens on both sides.
I was
So
trying
you'll
to
get
count the ratio when we were there, too. What the ratio
yeah.
was.
I don't know.
feel
I don't
like
know.
it was-
And I'm a switch. I can say both of those things. So I know the assholes from either side,
But
because
it-
you can.
Yeah, it'd be nice to
I'll
know.
speak for both. Yeah, because I understand both perspectives of that really quickly and easily. It's not an easy blend. You're gonna have to find people already in relationships, probably.
I'm pretty sure if
to
there was
talk
like a
openly.
class where, let's say women, because it usually happens most
Wow.
of the women.
I was willing to do the
Can
DS
I
thing,
finish?
but not you being sexist.
Can I finish
Sure,
what I was
pig.
going to say?
Sure,
Wow,
misogynistic
I like
pig.
how y'all like cut me off
Swine.
before I even finish what I'm going to say.
Misogynistic
I
swine.
said misogynistic joke before. No, I wish there was like a class where like women could just bring in their profiles and just show like the messages they get, and then the friend requests,
Oh,
and do like
yeah.
excerpts just from this, just
Yeah.
to show, like Jimmy Fallon. No,
Excerpts.
no, not Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy
Kimmel?
Kimmel. He does the mean tweets from the celebrities.
Yeah, those are the best.
If the women did that,
Dude,
like you just
you should read.
You
some of this
realize
shit.
if
guys
you
don't
could-
know the shit that we get.
We don't.
They have
We
no idea.
don't know.
I just got one last night.
Oh yeah,
We-
I get some amazing stuff.
like-
I get it from women lately.
I
now,
learn
too.
more from when I see a woman's profile and they just copy and pasted like, "Hey assholes, I can't respond to you because I have this many messages," and
Yep.
we're like,
999 plus.
that still blows my mind. And then they do this excerpts from like the people like, "Hey, you didn't respond to my
Excerpts.
message."
Right.
Experts.
You bitch.
Yeah, it's like you didn't respond to my message. It's like I have a lot
Too
of
good
messages.
for me,
What do you
C-word.
do? It's like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just say women. I don't know if guys get that. I'm not hot enough to get those messages.
don't know.
But I'm saying that the fact that just knowing what the other side goes through is very informative.
Well,
Very,
you
very
care,
informative.
so I think you care and have a little bit of empathy.
I
and-
would think like our group would benefit from knowing that stuff.
you think so?
Because I stopped
People would
doing
have
all
to.
the stuff I do because I was like, oh, everybody does that. All the
Yeah.
assholes do that. Let me stop doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other?
I don't even know what message I would reply to. I don't think I've ever replied on FET to a message that somebody has sent me.
I'm pretty sure it's not just FET too.
Ever.
I'm pretty sure it's not just FET. Never. There's Bumble and Tinder. And
I don't
all
know. I've
them-
never
all those
used
things.
that because I'm,
Here's a dick pic.
naive and virginal.
Who? Oh, God. Anyways,
Anyways.
yeah.
I only get
we
that
should
kind
we
of
should
shit.
come up with that class. We'll come up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
work
I got
on
some
that.
good ones lately.
S types, you can come in and tell us. We won't scare you off.
That
got
didn't
some- it's all
sound
just
sarcastic at all.
Entitlement. No, it's all just entitlement.
That sounded like entrapment.
It'd be nice if all. If you identify with as a D type, you have to put this duct tape over your mouth. You can't say anything. You just have to listen.
Yeah, I'm not organizing that. That's not happening.
Nope, nobody is.
Oh shit.
Nobody is.
So not
I think
happening.
that
But
would
you,
cause
as
a
you say,
rift.
it's very informative though. Is there anything else in there?
I mean, honestly, I went to a mindfuck class,
Oh man, I'm so jealous of that.
which was fun. And then I went to an FLR class, which was taught by an amazing woman that I
Can
adore.
you say for the fans what the FLR means?
Female-led relationships.
Ooh,
Wow, I actually didn't know that. until you
And I'm
just
out.
said it, so cool. Wow.
Yes. So
What?
Got you right by the balls.
Did it mean like female dominant led relationship or just?
well, that's what that means.
It could just be female led.
No, a female-led relationship is like a femdom type relationship.
I guess.
Yes.
Anything?
my mom's a
Anything good
femdom.
from in there?
Oh, all of it was good. It was just she talked about that it's not a typical type of relationship, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a sexual relationship. Just how she operates, and it was like more her experiences in her house and everything and how that works.
Oh, leather house.
She is in a leather house, yes, but just her house personally. Household, yes. How to make it work, how to do some things long distance, making sure that you're talking about boundaries and contracts and expectations for everybody. I think one of my favorite takeaways was when she's like, when I'm going to talk on a femdom side, there is still a lot of stigma around male submissives. And there are a lot of male submissives that are still afraid to embrace how they really feel because they feel that they are going to be ridiculed in the community. They feel they're going to be looked down on. They feel that the male dominants think less of them, that it makes them look weak and small. There's still a huge stigma out there that is slowly changing, but not fast enough in regards to male identifying submissives. And one of the things that she said that I really loved the phrasing of was underneath me, not beneath me. And I was like, that right there is very powerful, because you can be under me, but that doesn't mean that you're beneath me. And I loved that differentiation. And there's so much, it's so empowering to the person that's on the S side to me that I had to write that down, and then I stopped writing after that. So
yeah, there's something I bring to my relationships. It's that we're equals. So even if I was in a dynamic, like fundamentally we are equals, and everything else is
yes and no,
whatever it is.
We're equals as humans.
That's what I mean.
But after that is when I would disagree, because that's the whole point of the dynamic.
Yeah, I mean fundamentally as humans, like we are never beneath you. This is not a caste system.
No,
we
you're
are never
not
beneath each other. Never.
You're underneath me.
Yeah.
You're identifying that I am an authority figure.
Yeah.
You're identifying that I am a person in a control aspect of your life, but that doesn't mean that you are beneath me as a person.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you're
below
less
station.
than. Yeah. You're not less than.
I guess before we can work on the taboo in society, we got to work on the judgments within our own community here.
Oh, absolutely.
That's how we work on the taboo in society.
And the judgments go both ways, because female dominants are just starting to not be as judged. I would say it's just starting, like, we're talking less than 10 years.
To vanilla people, though, female dominance look hot.
It's
looks amazing.
It's the porn shit.
Yeah, it looks amazing. It's Catwoman, man. It looks amazing. It looks great.
In the lifestyle, though, female dominants have not received a lot of respect. They were not received well. We were viewed as confused.
Yeah. Or with trauma, and it's a power trip.
We were
daddy issues.
We have all sorts of issues. We just haven't found the right man to dominate us yet.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Whoa. You want me to get a bat
You're just doing this until you find the right man to dominate
I'll turn you.
Yes.
Oh,
we're looked at as a challenge.
Yeah, we're a challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Fuck.
And the thing is like, so if you have a dominant man standing there and you have another, I'm going to use male and female.
Yeah. So when I'm not in a relationship, I see that dominant man as my equal.
No. So where I'm going with this is, so you'll see, so you have a dominant man in a room, right? And another dominant man enters the room, and he will walk up to him, shake his hand, introduce, and they will sit there and they will talk about things. You have a dominant woman in the room, and you have a dominant man that walks up. They don't treat them the same. They still question them. How long have you done this? Do you know what you're doing? Are you really dominant? Did you start as a like, it's the vibe is extremely different. We both just took breaths. Like, like a dominant woman inherently always has to prove themselves. Yep. Yes. And that mindset has slowly in the last, even let's just say 5 years, changed for the good. But you would think that if that mindset is slowly changing and becoming more accepted, that the counterpart being the traditional male submissive that goes with it would change with it, and it's not changing as fast.
I want to bring out that side of myself more because I haven't yet experienced someone speak to me like that in person. In messages,
I have.
Yes, I don't bring.
I
that
have
out
in person
a lot. I haven't had yet to have somebody speak to me like that. Usually,
And
men
here's the
respect
thing:
me
is
as an equal, and they talk to me.
they
like
won't
that.
question another male dominant, but they'll question a female dominant.
haven't
But
had
then
that
when
happen
she
yet.
gets offended and sticks up for herself, now we're a
Now
bitch.
she's a bitch. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't understand why you got to be all like this. It was just a question. Yeah, see, there's a woman for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Emotional women.
There's a woman for you. Can't handle a conversation. Can't handle
Yep.
being questioned.
It was just a discussion.
Right.
Can't even handle those people because I'm pretty sure the bisexuals and the lesbians and all that stuff get that same thing too, just like switches.
Yeah.
Switches, male submissives.
Well, bisexual women have been getting it forever. Just
Yeah.
the fact
You're
that you are a
confused.
bisexual woman, you're confused.
That's always so.
You haven't found the right man to fuck you right. You haven't found the right person to what? Well, it's like, no, I'm not
I'll
confused
turn
at
you.
all.
They always want to turn you.
Oh yeah.
lesbians get it too.
Yeah.
Yep. They always want to turn you.
Bisexual guys, yeah.
Switches. You're just confused. You're greedy. That was
I've
the
actually
thing.
still never heard something bad. And
Oh
I'm
my
switch.
gosh.
I haven't heard it. I know other
I
people
have.
have. I know other people have.
I
know it.
have. You just are
You gotta
can't
start
wait.
leading stuff.
Oh,
You gotta
I'm
be a leader in my
I'm
community.
excited
You're
to hear it.
confused. You are.
I'll be like, I'm gonna show you
greedy.
confused.
You
I
you
am
just haven't
greedy.
met the right partner
Yeah.
yet.
You're right. I've met 50 of them.
Like it's all the same. Yeah, because you don't fit the traditional role that the old timers think you should fit.
It's so weird to me. Anytime I ever got any little inkling of that, I must just be young enough and new enough and naive enough, and I just walk in and didn't. That's what I was going to talk about. We were going to talk about imposter syndrome. This
Oh,
is
we're
actually a
going to.
good lead into it.
Yeah, catch us next time.
I don't. Oh, it's next time.
Next episode.
I think it's related to that. I walked in without, specifically with this, without an ego about it, and so I laugh whenever somebody says it.
But I also think that you
I don't think they
walked
can
into
smell it on me.
I think another thing that you don't take into account is you also walked into an established
Yep,
protective
established
community.
Yeah,
Not just an established
friend
community,
group
but you
and-
walked into a friend group that you had boundaries and protections
Yep.
put around you before you walked in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I had expectations
you
already
didn't
of like, don't
walk
fuck with her.
in-
No, I didn't walk in cold.
No.
I see. I have a personality type though. If I did walk in cold, I walk in like that. I walk up to strangers and I'm like half
You got all this.
whatever. Yeah, okay. He's such a weirdo. I walk in with like a I don't want to use like I would say neurodivergent. That's what I've got. I'm totally oblivious to other people's judgments and opinions of me until they actually say it. So if they're giving me like a weird face, I don't even recognize it. I walk in like I own the place. I walk in everywhere like that.
I see all of it.
I wander up to strangers. I just walk up.
I see all of it.
Yeah. I don't until they
I'm
kind of
such
start.
an observer.
Yeah.
I see all of it.
I walk in and when I walked in the first time to our local munch, I looked around and I was like thinking to myself, I'm walking in and I'm going to consider everybody a predator. And when I thought of it that way, I didn't care about anything. I was like, yeah, when everybody's a predator, you're just going to walk in and be like, hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah.
And you just drop your,
I wish.
It was great.
Okay.
Yeah, and
so,
I don't know. I don't have an anxiety around that. So I don't think they smell the fear on me. But then we're going to get into imposter syndrome because that's where the fear comes in.
Okay, so to wrap up Beyond Leather.
Highly recommend going.
Highly recommend going. Second weekend in May, usually. South Florida. Do they have I don't see a website or anything.
They have a FET page.
That's it.
They probably have a website, but I know they have a FET page.
Is it just Beyond Leather? Is their group thing? Beyond Leather. Go ahead, check it out. Fet Life. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Play piercing. They got all kinds of stuff. They got some rope stuff in here. All the different straight razors. They got a bunch of different breath play. So they got other like
Oh, the
demonstration
shaving
stuff
straight razor
too.
thing.
I went to a sounding class too. That was
Sounding.
really
Really?
fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Male sounding, was that the one? Yeah, male sounding, punching and kicking, corsetry, why run and how to prepare. Okay.
Oh, that's for the title holding.
Okay. Sexy primal play, electric play, fisting, responsible bottoming. So
Oh,
and then you
responsible
said,
bottoming.
yeah,
That'd be good.
you said there was nudity by the
it all.
presenters, but people weren't just nude.
No, so like there were demos, and so the demo bottom, there was nudity with the demo bottom, but you were not allowed to walk around during classroom time in the classroom area nude. You had to treat it public.
Professionally.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So,
then
but behind closed doors in a class for some of these, the demo bottom there was
Negative.
nudity for the because it's a sounding class.
Yeah. But
So-
then the audience wasn't allowed to be nude. during
No,
the
no,
class.
no. They're just watching. It's just the demo bottom that was.
And then the meet and greets in the dungeon, it was full nude. And
Dungeon was full nude inside the doorway.
was it
But
like,
the anything outside the dungeon was not nude.
okay,
Yeah, it
was
was
there like
legal.
sex and drinking in the dungeon? Or?
No.
Okay. Just kinky stuff.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. And then we have like the male G spot,
Ooh,
That's
Masso
fun.
rope,
I want to.
I
I
love
want to
the
do
male
that. I want to
G-spot.
study that. That's the
S-type
thing.
round
I got you.
table history panel.
I want to do that.
I got you.
Ah. I've done that twice in my life.
It's fun.
I gotta practice. Yeah.
Yeah, have fun finding.
Whatever.
Find
It's none of your
people-
business.
Find somebody to practice with. That's good.
Gotta do it.
All right. So, Beyond Leather, FetLife page.
Yep.
Check it out. We got to check it out sometime.
Yeah.
We're doing there. You can just support it. All right. Thanks for
Tuning in.
joining us and
Joining us.
downloading, listening to the Beyond Bonfire podcast. We're here. Catch us next time as we
We're
talk
here.
about the next thing. To my right, I have,
Dame.
and to my left, I have,
This was Esme
and I'm Senior Donut Muncher.
signing off.
Hello.
Thanks for checking us out.